Hey guys, how's it going? It's Janie over here at ContactJaniesSweets. Welcome back to my channel. A few weeks ago, I made this dessert table for my daughter's first birthday. It was a tea party themed celebration. I absolutely loved how it turned out. And last week, I showed you guys how I made the dessert for this table. But this week, I am going to focus on how I made the display cake that you see in the middle. Okay, pause, just a bit of warning here. In the video that you're going to see, for some reason, I didn't look at my viewfinder. I don't know what happened, but the color and lighting looks horrible and you barely can see the actual colors. Like they almost look neon almost. I almost didn't post it at all, but a lot of you guys wanted to see how I made the cake. So I'm still going to post it, but be aware that the color is not gonna look like what you're seeing here in daylight. With all of that being said, definitely stay tuned if you wanna see how I made this cake. So I'm starting out with a 10-inch dummy cake that I'm going to cover with vegetable shortening. I'm using Crisco in this case. And then I am going to roll out some white fondant, knead it nicely, then roll it out with my rolling pin and then cover the cake with it. Now the reason why I went with a dummy cake is because I knew I wasn't gonna have a whole bunch of people at the party, but at the same time I wanted a dramatic, like super awesome look, so I decided to just go ahead and do it, although nobody was going to eat it. So just go ahead and cover your cake in your fondant. You can obviously use real cake if you wanted to, and you know, if you were actually going to feed the people that cake. So go ahead and do that. I did the same thing to my 10-inch, my 8-inch, also my 6-inch. Once I was satisfied with how sharp everything looked, what I'm going to do is just use some AmeriColor gel food coloring with some Everclear. So I'm just gonna drop a drop of the pink here on a plate and then grab a little bit of vodka. You can use any clear alcohol will do, and then swish it around with a toothpick. So I did a test here on a piece of scrap fondant just to make sure that it was going to look good. And this is what I meant by you cannot see what I'm doing. So I have a cotton ball in my hand and I'm dabbing it onto the cake, but it literally looks like I'm not doing anything. I don't know what happened. I am so sorry about this, but I wanted you to see the technique that I'm using. You can kind of see it better with the blue. So as you can see, I'm just putting dots all over and then going through it again and just kind of dragging the paint around. So what it's going to create is more of a watercolor effect. It's not going to be super opaque as if I spray painted it or dyed the actual fondant that color. So once I did it with the blue, I am then going to do the same thing with the yellow. Now the yellow for some reason looks neon here. Like it looks like I used the highlighter on a cake. I'm so sorry guys. Again, I hope you're not too, annoyed by the color and that you actually learn a little bit from the technique. So once I was done and I liked how everything looked, I put just a little bit of royal icing to secure each tier to it, the bottom one. Now for the reason why you guys probably love the cake is the design that is on it. I cheated. I used an overlay. You guys, this thing is like amazing. So all you do is you just grab a piece of fondant, you roll it out. They do recommend that you pass it through a pasta machine just to make sure that it is nice and even. And then once you roll it on it, you can use your hand or a rolling pin. Just remove whatever part of the design you don't want showing. Then grab a paintbrush, dip it into some gum glue, or you could use water, and then just put it onto the cake and it will stick right to it. All you have to do is now remove the overlay and then you're left with your design. You do have to be a little bit careful. If you don't apply enough gum glue, it won't stick to the cake and it will just stay on the overlay. But if you've powdered your overlay with some how do you call this, cornstarch before you start, or powdered sugar. It won't stick to the overlay and it will stick to the cake itself. So just go ahead and apply your design however you like. I will link the 2 overlays that I used for this particular cake down below. They're actually the first overlays I bought because I loved how the design was. I'm talking about maybe 5 years ago. I bought this thing. Like, it's just so pretty, and I always love how they turn out. So the way that you put them together is, honestly, you can see these little holes here. That lets you see exactly where the other one ends, and then you just line it up, and there you go. So for the second design that I chose, this one was a little bit trickier, only because the design is a little bit more delicate, a little bit more finicky, but if you take your time and you don't just rip off the overlay, it will look perfect every time. Also, this design is a little bit harder to line up properly to the next one. However, just do your best to kind of like eyeball it and see where it should go, and then just place it there and remove your overlay. Now, I do have to say that these particular overlays are designed to fit perfectly within each other. So if you find that you ran out of space, you can always go ahead and cut up a little piece. Like you can see over there, it doesn't match up properly. You can always cut up a little piece and then add it there. But honestly, like, this cake was not gonna be eaten or anything like that, so I didn't really care. I just left it like that. So anyway, I had some leftover flowers from another project. You guys know I like my Cal Java flowers. I think these ones are called garden roses. I can't remember. So I just used 2 of them there, and then I have a pearl mold. If you Google pearl mold or look for it on Amazon, a lot of them will come up. I got this so long ago, I can't even remember, you know, which one exactly it is. So just go ahead and put some gum glue or water at the back of it and then stick it onto your cake. I chose to have it kind of drape off of the flowers, so I put 3 rows under each flower. And then, oops, that flower fell up. I just had to add a little bit more gum glue to it and then press it back on. So there you go, you guys. This is how I created this particular display cake. Again, you can use real cake if you wanted to. You can do different colors. I again apologize for the weird coloring, weird lighting. I still wanted to show you guys the technique that I use and to show you that it was super easy to make. Again, if you have not seen part 1 to this video where I show you how I make the desserts that went onto the table and how I set up this table, definitely check out my description box. I will put that there, a link to that there for you. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Definitely subscribe to the channel so that you do not miss out on any of my future videos. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. That is it for this week's tutorial, guys. I love you. I'll talk to you next time.